Picture this. It's Thursday afternoon. You ship a small prompt tweak to tighten checkout language. Nothing dramatic, just cleaner confirmations. By Saturday morning, you discover dozens of orders are stalled in checkout. Support is flooded. The weekend sale momentum disappears while engineers scramble to trace an unexpected behaviour change. That's the sort of real avoidable harm I want to help you prevent today. I call the habit change freeze windows, short targeted pauses around high-risk moments that let teams keep moving day to day while protecting revenue and customers when it matters most. Make AI practical.
So what happened in that story, in plain English? A small tweak, a model swap, a prompt edit, or an automation change landed right before a high-value period. The tweak behaved differently under peak conditions, or interacted with a rare edge case, and the result was customer friction, stalled orders, confused users, and a support backlog that swallowed the weekend. There was no grand failure in infrastructure, it was a timing and governance failure. That timing is the lever we can control.
Why does this matter to you, especially if you run customer-facing automations, billing flows, or marketing campaigns? First, revenue. A short outage during a peak window directly costs sales. Second, support NOPS overhead skyrockets. Your team pays in time and context switching. Third, brand trust erodes. Customers remember broken experiences. The cumulative effect is more than immediate loss. It forces reactive firefighting and slows you over weeks. A small habit prevents that cascade.
Okay, what are change freeze windows? At their simplest, a named time-boxed pause on non-essential changes that could touch a defined scope during a known high-risk period. The goal is not to be bureaucratic, it's to be surgical. Minimal invariants are threefold. 1, a clear scope, which flows, environments or models are frozen. 2, a named owner responsible for the freeze. And 3, a short, explicit duration with acceptance criteria for lifting it. That's it. Short, scoped and reversible.
There are 4 common types of freeze windows I see across small teams. Launch or marketing windows. Think big campaign send or product release for a limited region. Billing and payments windows. Invoice generation, charge runs, settlements. Regional holiday or peak business hours. Local peak times where a single regression could hit many customers. And model or prompt swap windows, when you swap a model version or prompt set used in production. Each has different risk characteristics and therefore different scope decisions. How do you pick scope? The simplest rubric I use is impact times probability times duration, deliberately conservative. Ask, what flows would a change touch? Who would see it? Can I isolate to a single flow rather than freezing everything? For instance, if a prompt change only affects confirmation emails, freeze that email flow rather than the entire marketing automation platform. The more surgical your scope, the less you block routine fixes.
Before you declare a freeze, run a pre-freeze checklist you can complete in under 12 minutes. Quick suggested steps. Run a read-only smoke test across 30 representative cases that mirror typical customer paths. Run 2 automated observability queries, error rate and latency for the target flows. Validate rollback or one-click revert paths are tested. And publish a short freeze notice with owner, scope, start-end and emergency contact. These checks take minutes but materially reduce surprise.
If you want to pilot this quickly, here are 3 pilots you can run this week. Pilot A, launch day freeze for marketing copy and campaign flows. Owner, campaign lead. Scope, template edits and CTA changes only. Duration, campaign window plus 2 hours after send. Pilot B, billing run quiet period. Owner, finance or billing ops. Scope, invoicing, charge logic and payment gateway configuration. Duration, 1 hour before through 1 hour after the run. Pilot C, regional holiday freeze. Owner, regional ops lead. Scope, region-specific automations and copy. Duration, holiday peak window. Keep each pilot small and document one acceptance rule to lift the freeze.
What if something breaks during a freeze and you absolutely must change something? You need a defined emergency override process. Keep it tight. One-tap override or one-click rollback patterns are ideal. A single action should either lift the freeze or revert the last change. Require the override requester to be logged with reason and mandate an immediate supervised rollback if the override introduces risk. Finally, the override triggers a 24-hour post-override audit, so there's accountability and learning.
After a freeze ends, run a very short retrospective. The owner convenes a 15-minute triage, confirms acceptance checks passed, and writes one corrective action to improve the next freeze. Keep notes terse. What happened, what we observed, and one change to make the next window safer or less disruptive. Over time, these mini retrospectives bake in continuous improvement without heavy process overhead.
Risks and limitations, because no control is free. First, overusing freezes slows iteration and creates team frustration. Second, over-broad freezes block low-risk fixes that would actually reduce harm during the window. Third, poorly communicated freezes lead to missed fixes or shadow changes. Fourth, emergency overrides introduce risk if not audited. So the mitigation is simple. Start with one narrow, high-value freeze, keep it short, and use per-flow scoping. Publish a clear notice and require fast rollback plans for any pre-approved exceptions.
Quick recap, 3 takeaways. 1. Identify your highest value moment, next billing run or a major launch, and pilot a freeze. 2. Keep the scope surgical, the owner explicit, and the window short. 3. Use a fast pre-freeze smoke test and require one-click rollback and audited emergency overrides. One practical next consideration question for you. What single upcoming calendar moment would be high enough impact that you'd stop non-essential changes for an hour? Pick that as your first pilot. If you want to see a short write-up of this habit and the 3 pilots in one place, head to aengaged.com. Make AI practical. That's the place for the playbook and a bit more context on the pre-freeze checklist and override pattern. Thanks for listening. I'm Jaco Van Dam. If this episode helped you think about how to protect revenue and customers with minimal friction, try the single high-value pilot this week and see how it fits your rhythm.